Hello guys, welcome again to Keep Quiet Dennis Avisa channel, and it's from Keep Den Studios, and kama uja subscribe kwa hii channel ama kama uko mpya, karibu sana na naomba utusubscribe. Hapo tunasikia story, tunaongea. And as I promised last week, we're going to talk about my Mpesa call story. So last week we talked about the conmanship in OTC, but today we are talking about Mpesa. Their tactics. Kama uko na hadithi kama yangu, but naweza share hapo kwa comment section. Tunaweza jua bado zile tactics wanatumia ili tusaidie wengine ambao hawajakoniwa, although mostly nasikia wenye wako hii area, wenye tuko karibu nao wengi wamekoniwa kupitia njia mingi, lakini yangu inaenda nyuma. Tunarudi nyuma mpaka 2017. Hapo nilikuwa nimesave pesa kiasi na nikanunua line ya Mpesa. Na kama kawaida line ya Mpesa unanunua kutoka kwa brokers, but we use the usual channel, we use the trusted guys. The line arrived, it was supposed to arrive on 17th of March 2017, but the guy was a bit late and he postponed, or he went home. So he had to send a friend the next day, which was, I think it was tricky to me because it was a church, it was a Sabbath. So when I was in charge, I put my phone on silent. So it vibrated and I checked it and returned it back to my pocket. It ringed for about 5 times. So I chose, let me find out what's going on. Picking it, found the guy was waiting for me at my shop. Just about just 20 meters from the church. That is where he was. Nikaendea hiyo laini, nikachukua, nikapewa na record book na akaniambia details kiasi, kwa sababu nilikuwa najua kuna training unaweza attend kujua mambo na Mpesa, but I had never attended any. I just seen some friends depositing, withdrawing, showing. So niliona, I know all these things, I've seen it from friends. I've done recording on the record books for Mpesa. Usually it's a recording book. Let me show you how it looks like. The recording book. It's look like this. This is the recording book for Mpesa. I'm sorry because you cannot see, so I'll have to hide that serial number. So yeah, that is how it look like. So I've learned from friends how to do it, how to deposit, how to withdraw. So it was my savings that I've invested and bought the line, and I saved, and to be able to input some float in it. So at that time I had money in my phone, so it was, I input saving it on Mshwari and KCP Mpesa. That is basically where I used to save my money. So this day it was on Sabbath, so I paid the money, and I took the line to the shop and returned back to church. So I went back to church and we continued. The next day, it was on a Sunday, that is 19th of March 2017, I started work. So I displayed my agent number and so forth and so on in my shop. That is for the first time, and I did some few transactions. If I remember, I think I did about 8 or 10 transactions, but not more than that. And that was all for Monday, for Sunday. The next day it was Monday, and I did it the same thing, but my transaction. So the customers, I had started to introduce it to my customers or my clients, and they were aware that I had an Mpesa. And it was the reason I introduced Mpesa to my shop is that some customers had requested that I bring the service in the shop, and I gave in the initiative, and it actually worked. So I had planned it for about 1 year, and that was how I came to fulfill their promise. So I had to inform them that I would introduce the service you requested. So they were aware. And before then, I had always heard there are conmen in Mpesas. Several people have lost their money because of conmanship that happened. That is what I was not aware. What I was not aware of it is the tactic they were using. So in this fateful day, it was now 21st, Tuesday, 2017. So on this fateful day, a stranger came into my shop and asked if he could withdraw some cash. I asked him how much. He said about 600 shillings. That is where I accepted that he withdrew the money. So I asked him, do you have an ID? He said, yes, I have an ID. So he continued, he pretended like he was dialing his phone. So this is the phone he used. I have it till date. This phone, it's itel. So this is what I was reminded. So he pretended like he was withdrawing some cash, and a few minutes later, a few seconds said, have you gotten? He asked me. Then I was shocked. I have not seen the message. How can he ask me that? Have you received the money? So I told him, no, maybe you withdrew from a wrong agent. I asked him to call Safaricom. So he dialed a number in his phone, this phone, 0200, and there was a lot of zeros, then 1101. I think that was the number he dialed. It is actually a landline. So, and he requested me to help him to talk with the customer care so that they can help him to reverse the money to his phone. Unaware of what was going on, I took the phone and I called. And the person who I called, so he asked me to assist the customer who I was using his phone to reverse the money. So, in a case that I later understood that it was a conmanship, because he asked me to use my phone to dial some numbers, and he asked me that these days then the lowest limit, the minimum limit you are required in float in Mpesa was 20,000, and I think I had 20,000 or more, and that day he said that Safaricom has upgraded their limit to more than that. So I had to deposit the phone, the money that was in my phone, in Mpesa phone, to my own line, so that they can send me some goods. So this was the process. They gave me a number that after I had deposited the money into my phone, so after I deposited, they asked me to go in my phone, my Mpesa, then to dial send money. Then I was like, how should I send money to who? Then they told me, no, don't be worried. They told me I'll give you a code. Then they give me a number, like start with 2547, then certain numbers, blah blah blah. Then enter OK. I entered OK. They asked me to enter a code that they will give me. They started with 00. Then I was like, oh, this is not amount, because you can actually see amount in top, but they are asking you to enter a code, a code. So I entered 00 and a figure, and okay. Then they told me your pin is your secret, so enter it. I entered the pin and I pressed OK and send. Then they kept asking me, what is the name? Then I gave them the name. They said, press OK, wait. Then what is the message? What is the message? Just read us the message. Then I read them the message. They said, please delete the message. I deleted the message. Then that is the first message. They gave me also another number. This happened they gave me about 3 numbers that I sent money. And I sent to all of them. Unknowingly, they gave me number starting with the country code 254, then 7, and blah, 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 the numbers. Then instead of telling me it's a figure, they told me it's that is a code they give me starting with 00. Then on reading this transaction, what I later realized is that they wanted to know the amount that was in my Mpesa. Then they will deduct the transaction cost. Then the money will be sent successfully. They asked me that your money still requires about 8,000. Remember, then I had about 15,000 cash, so I deposited. And by now, I've lost about 22,000. So I was remaining with about 15,000. So I went to the next Mpesa and I deposited in my phone, because they had to top it up to about 30,000 that they needed. So I deposited the money on my Mpesa, and I sent to the number they were giving me. All this time they were telling me, this your Mpesa business is your secret. Even the Mpesa agent should not know what you are doing. Even your friend should not know. Ni siri yetu, hii ni mambo yetu. Hii pini Mpesa yako, biashara yako, ni siri yako. Mtu asijue siri zako. Beware, be warned. That is the trick they used. We communicated in a phone. I later realized we communicated for about 1 hour. Even going to my shop, they kept asking me, are you there? Are you there? Are you in the shop? Yes, I'm depositing. Wait. So they were keeping me busy, so that I will not be able to check. So on coming back, I did not find the person who I was supposed to assist, or the fraudster who gave me now the phone that I had shown you before. This phone, the fraudster had disappeared. So I realized that I have their phone. Ataenda wapi na niko na simu yao? Ataenda wapi niko na simu yake? I never knew that this phone is just about 1,700 shillings. So what does that compare to about 4,000 shillings? So all this while, I was not aware of what was going on. So I went for the second time to deposit in an Mpesa that was a bit about 200 meters away from my shop, and deposited the money, and they still send it. But the third time they asked me to count all the cash that I had. I had about 20,000. About 10,000 remaining. So I asked them, will you really return this money? Because all this while I had not noticed that where they were calling was noisy. It was the noisiest place I've ever had. I would hear children shouting. I think it was on a playing ground. That's where I realized that I've been conned. So what I did, just I dialed the police number, that is 999, thinking that they will assist me, because I thought I will put the phone, all the phones, and my phone and their phone together, so that they will hear they will link them. I I also I don't know what I was thinking about, but unfortunately, my phone was picked by 999, and they asked me. Someone was talking. They picked my call, and they talked among themselves. I never even took a step to go and report it, because I thought the man I had been conned was sheepish. Ilikuwa tu upusi. And all this story, I've never managed. I've never garnered enough courage to tell it to anybody. So this is a new story. This told for the first time after 3 years and about 6 months. Yeah, 6 months, because it was 21st of March 2017. So all these stories you've heard, many people being conned. So if someone ever asks you to help them, you can assist, but don't dial those things in your phone. Don't use your phone by any means. Be warned that they are conmen, and they will use you. They can't come by force these days. They just use their brains. So be wary. This phone, it's gonna be the screen. If you have never subscribed yet to this channel, don't forget to subscribe. We shall be telling stories. We shall be telling you how to avoid these things. And until the next time, see you. Peace.